Hello and welcome to Senior Health Over 60, the channel dedicated to helping older adults live stronger, healthier, and more independent lives. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or even your 80s and you're looking to feel energized, confident, and in control of your body again, you're in the right place. I'm Dr. James Whitman, a physician and aging specialist here in the U.S., and for the past 20 years, I've studied what separates those who thrive in their later years from those who simply endure them. Now, you may have heard it said that losing muscle, getting weaker, or needing assistance is just part of getting older. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be that way? In today's video, I'm going to share 7 science-backed habits that can help restore your strength, protect your muscles, and even turn back the biological clock. No gym memberships, no complicated diets required. The best part, you only need to start with one habit to begin seeing the difference. Think you're too old to build strength? I used to believe that too. But what I've learned, and what the latest research proves, is that small daily actions can lead to powerful change. Backhand index pointing right before we dive in. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Senior Health Over 60. Your support helps us keep bringing life-changing tips to people just like you across the country. Let's begin, because your strongest years might still be ahead. 1. Hormetic stress, the strength hidden in discomfort. Most people think aging means slowing down, getting weaker, and letting go of the life they used to enjoy. But what if the problem isn't aging itself, but comfort? Let me explain. You see, as a doctor who's worked with older adults across America, I've found that one of the most powerful tools to preserve and even rebuild muscle isn't found in a pill, a powder, or even a high-tech gym. It's something much simpler, and ironically, something most of us try to avoid: a little bit of stress. Now, I'm not talking about the kind of stress that keeps you up at night or raises your blood pressure. I'm talking about hormetic stress, short, controlled bursts of physical challenge that tell your body, it's time to adapt, get stronger, stay young. Ever taken a cold shower and felt wide awake afterward? Or spent 10 minutes in a sauna and walked out feeling clear-headed and energized? That's hormesis in action. These small physical challenges trigger your mitochondria, your cells' power plants, to work harder. They activate longevity genes, boost hormone levels, and protect your muscle tissue. Let me tell you about Ruth, a 74-year-old retired teacher from Minnesota. She started ending her showers with just 30 seconds of cold water. Within weeks, she reported better sleep, reduced joint pain, and more morning energy. She didn't change anything else, just embraced a tiny bit of discomfort. Other examples: saunas have been linked to 40% less muscle loss in seniors. Intermittent fasting, simply eating within an 8 to 10 hour window, can improve muscle function by up to 10%. And here's a surprise. Just pushing your hands against a wall with full effort for 10 seconds can spark the same muscle signals as a light workout without hurting your joints. Of course, the key is balance. Too much stress is harmful, but the right kind, done briefly and consistently, can help you stay stronger longer. So what's one small discomfort you can try this week? A brisk walk in the cold, a light fast, a 10-second isometric hold. Start there and feel your body come back to life. 2. Protein timing, the muscle multiplier most seniors miss. Everyone knows protein is important. It's the building block of muscle after all. But what most people over 60 don't realize is that when you eat, your protein can be just as important as how much you eat. Here's the deal. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at processing protein. It's a condition called anabolic resistance. Basically, your muscles don't respond to protein as strongly as they did when you were younger. That means just eating protein isn't enough. You have to eat it smart. Most older adults make the same mistake. They have toast, cereal, or maybe coffee for breakfast, a light lunch, and then a big, protein-heavy dinner. But that's not how your muscles work best. Research shows that muscle protein synthesis, The process of rebuilding and strengthening your muscles only stays elevated for about 3 to 4 hours after a meal. So if you're only getting enough protein once a day, you're missing multiple chances to feed your muscles. Let me tell you about Harold, a 68-year-old former truck driver from Ohio. He came to me feeling sluggish and frustrated. He was eating plenty of protein, just all at dinner. We changed one thing. We added 30 grams of protein to his breakfast. Greek yogurt, a couple of eggs, maybe a scoop of protein in a smoothie. Within 12 weeks, he had gained over a pound of lean muscle and felt years younger. Studies confirm this. Older adults who spread their protein intake evenly, 25 to 30 grams per meal, build more muscle, have better balance, and even enjoy clearer thinking. It's not just about strength, it's about your whole quality of life. So if you're making the effort to eat well, don't let timing hold you back. Tomorrow morning, instead of just coffee, try a high-protein breakfast. Your muscles and your future self will thank you. 3. Vitamin D and K2, the silent keys to muscle strength. When we think of vitamin D, most of us picture strong bones and healthy joints, and rightly so. But what many people don't realize, especially in their 60s and beyond, is that vitamin D is just as essential for your muscles as it is for your skeleton. Your muscle cells actually have vitamin D receptors. Without enough of it, those cells simply can't function properly. They can't repair, they can't grow, they can't support you like they used to. And here's the scary part. Over 80% of older adults in the US are deficient in vitamin D and have no idea. Let me share the story of Linda, a 71-year-old widow from Southern California. She loved gardening but had suffered 2 serious falls in the span of a year. Her doctor had focused on bone health, but never once checked her vitamin D. When we finally tested her, her levels were below 25 ng/ml, dangerously low. We started her on a daily D3 supplement, added foods like salmon and fortified yogurt, and within months, not only had her strength improved, but she hadn't had a single fall since. Now, here's what most people miss. If you're supplementing with vitamin D, especially at higher doses like 2,000 to 4,000 IU per day, you must also get enough vitamin K2. Without it, calcium might end up in the wrong places, like your arteries, instead of your bones and muscles. K2 acts like a traffic cop, directing calcium where it belongs. You can get K2 from foods like egg yolks, fermented soy like natto, and aged cheeses. Or simply take a combined D3K2 supplement. Don't guess, get tested. Ask your doctor to check your vitamin D levels and aim for above 40 ng/ml. This one step can be the difference between staying strong and steady or slowly becoming fragile without knowing why. 4. Chronic inflammation, the silent thief of strength. When most people hear the word inflammation, they think of swollen joints, redness, maybe pain. But the most dangerous kind of inflammation, it's the kind you can't feel at all. We call it chronic low-grade inflammation, or what researchers now refer to as inflammaging. It's one of the most overlooked reasons why older adults lose strength, even when they're eating well and staying active. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. As we age, subtle changes in the gut, stress levels, poor sleep, or even certain foods can trigger an immune response that never fully shuts off. This creates a constant, quiet fire in the body. And while it might not hurt at first, it slowly interferes with your muscles, ability to grow, repair, and stay strong. Take Arthur, a 75-year-old retired firefighter from Oregon. Despite eating plenty of protein and walking daily, he was losing muscle fast. We dug deeper and found the culprit: chronic inflammation from poor sleep and an imbalanced gut. After improving his sleep hygiene and adding fermented foods like kefir and sauerkraut to his diet, his energy returned, his strength improved, and his blood markers calmed down. So what can you do? Start by getting better sleep. A dark, quiet room and a consistent bedtime can lower inflammation markers by nearly 40%. Support your gut with fiber-rich plants. Aim for 30 different kinds each week. Add in fermented foods. And be gentle with your workouts. Overtraining can backfire. If you're curious, ask your doctor for a high-sensitivity C-reactive protein test, HSCRP. It's a simple blood test that can show whether silent inflammation is stealing your strength. The bottom line: if you're doing all the right things and still feel weak, don't blame yourself. Blame the fire within and take steps to put it out. 5 micronutrients, the unsung heroes of muscle health. We spend so much time talking about protein, carbs, and fat that we often forget the smaller pieces of the puzzle. But if you're over 60, those small pieces, called micronutrients, could be the secret to preserving your strength and energy. Micronutrients don't build muscle directly, but without them, your body can't use the protein you eat, can't recover from exercise, and can't keep your cells working efficiently. Think of them as the behind-the-scenes crew at a theater. If they don't show up, the show doesn't happen. Let me introduce you to George, a 72-year-old who stayed active but complained of fatigue and slow recovery. Blood work revealed he was low in magnesium and vitamin B12, 2 common deficiencies in older adults. Once we adjusted his diet and added a few targeted supplements, his energy returned, and his grip strength improved noticeably within just weeks. Magnesium powers over 300 chemical reactions in your muscles, yet 70% of seniors don't get enough. You'll find it in spinach, almonds, pumpkin seeds, and yes, a little dark chocolate. Vitamin B12 is essential for nerve function and muscle signaling, but absorption declines with age, especially if you take medications like metformin or proton pump inhibitors. Look for the methylated form, methylcobalamin, in your supplements. And don't forget creatine. It's not just for bodybuilders. A simple daily dose of 3-5 grams has been shown to improve muscle strength and even mental sharpness in older adults. Zinc, selenium, and chromium all play vital roles in recovery, insulin balance, and muscle repair. Here's the takeaway: don't guess. Ask your doctor for a micronutrient panel. A simple blood test can tell you exactly where your gaps are. Then eat smart, supplement with purpose, and give your muscles the support team they deserve. 6 neuromuscular connections, protecting the brain-to-muscle link. When people think about muscle loss, they usually imagine shrinking muscles or fewer workouts. But what if the real reason isn't in your muscles at all, but in your brain's ability to control them? There's a critical link between your nervous system and your muscles called the neuromuscular junction. It's like a highway of signals that tells your body when and how to move. And after age 60, that highway starts to break down, unless we take steps to protect it. Here's what I mean. Picture a light switch and a lamp. Your muscles are the lamp, but if the wiring is faulty, the light won't turn on, no matter how powerful the bulb is. That's what happens when neuromuscular connections weaken. You may have strong muscles, but your brain can't reach them efficiently. Take Barbara, a 76-year-old former nurse from Pennsylvania. She was frustrated, her legs felt heavy, her balance was off. We didn't start with weights. Instead, we added coordination-based activities, Tai Chi, gentle dancing, and simple foot-tapping drills. Within a month, she felt more stable, confident, and connected. Here's why it works. Activities that require timing and focus challenge both your brain and muscles at once. Tai Chi, tennis, even playing catch with a grandchild. They keep those signal pathways sharp. You can also nourish the nervous system with specific nutrients. Alpha-lipoic acid, acetyl-L-carnitine, and active forms of vitamin B1 help protect neuromuscular function. And simple breathing techniques, like box breathing, inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4, stimulate the vagus nerve, enhancing mind-body connection. Cognitive health and physical strength are deeply intertwined. So play a memory game, learn a new skill, or practice coordination. Your brain and your muscles will thank you together. 7. Progressive resistance training, the ultimate anti-aging habit. If there's one habit I wish every older adult would embrace, it's this: progressive resistance training. Not walking, not stretching, though those are important, but real, intentional strength-building movement that challenges your muscles to grow. Let me be clear, you don't need to lift heavy weights or join a gym. What you do need is the willingness to safely push your muscles just a little beyond their comfort zone, consistently, over time. You see, after age 30, we start to lose muscle mass. Slowly at first, but after 60, it speeds up. By 80, many people have lost nearly half of their muscle, and with it, their balance, mobility, and independence. That's where progressive overload comes in. It means gradually increasing the challenge. A few more reps, a little more resistance, slower tempo, or better form. These small adjustments tell your body, I still need this strength, don't let it go. Let me tell you about Tom, an 82-year-old retired engineer from Texas. He hadn't exercised in years. We started with one simple move: sit to stand from a chair. 3 times a day, no weights, just body weight. After a few weeks, he could do it 10 times without stopping. By month 3, he was climbing stairs without holding the railing. The best part: studies show that seniors who begin strength training, even in their 70s or 80s, can gain over 3 pounds of muscle and improve strength by 35% in just 12 weeks. It's not about lifting heavy. It's about training smart. Focus on full-body movements like squats, push-ups, even on the wall, and resistance band rows. Track your progress. Breathe with intention. And most importantly, don't stop challenging yourself. Because when you stop challenging your muscles, your body assumes you don't need them anymore. But I promise you, you do. Your strongest years can still be ahead. So here we are. We've walked through 7 powerful, science-backed habits, each one with the potential to restore your strength, protect your independence, and quite literally turn back the biological clock. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but where do I start? The answer is simple. Start with just one. Maybe tomorrow morning you add 30 grams of protein to your breakfast. Maybe you finish your shower with 30 seconds of cold water. Maybe you take 5 minutes to breathe deeply, or pick up a resistance band and do 1 round of rows. It doesn't need to be dramatic. It just needs to be consistent. Let me tell you about Mary. She's 79, lives alone, and used to rely on a walker for short trips to the store. 6 months ago, she made a quiet decision: 1 habit a day. She started with protein, added chair exercises, then worked in light tai chi and a bit of sunshine. Today, she walks without support, cooks every meal herself, and just came back from visiting her grandkids in Chicago. She did reverse aging.